Welcome everyone to the Attack of the Doc panel here at Los Angeles Comic-Con. Thank you for showing up. It's going to be a lot of fun while we solve technical issues. Because we have a lot of video to show you, and I want to let you in on a little secret. We started working on this documentary in July at San Diego Comic-Con, where we started shooting. And we've shot some interviews with the cast. And it's also something I'm passionate about because I feel in some ways perhaps the geek community has lost a sense of community. And that's what I think, for me, what Attack of the Show represented. Even though I was a cast member of Attack of the Show, I was also a fan of the show. And I was part of that community. And everyone that you saw on camera, they were the audience. You know what I mean? I think that that's why the show connected with so many people, is that the people that were on the show were also the audience of the show, because we were all nerds and into nerd stuff. And I feel in some ways, because of social media, because of perhaps the current political climate, we've become fractured as a fan community. And it's really disheartening to me. And I hope that there's a way to kind of bring the fan community back together, because we're all here because we love nerdy shit, and we like different nerdy things, and you can love The Last Jedi, and you can dislike The Last Jedi, and it's a safe space for all the people who have their differing opinions, and that's cool. I happen to like The Last Jedi, so I don't know where people stand on that. I don't know how that makes you feel, but I happen to like that film. So,
Chris and I actually fight about who likes it more. So.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Both wrong.
I should also introduce Bobby Schwartz is here. Bobby Schwartz. You can do better than that. Bobby Schwartz is a producer and editor on the documentary. We met, how did we meet?
I think it was at it was a Tinder date, right? No, it was at the Cantina in Hollywood, just by complete accident. And we found out we had kind of a similar vested interest in a lot of things. And one of those things is our fandom for Attack of the Show. Obviously, I was not a part of the original show, but I think we watched it very similarly as fans. And that's something that we hope to share with a larger community that is still out there, that are fans of the show. And as Chris said, the show kind of went away at this time where the internet was, social media sort of took over, and it fractured everything. And so that's part of what we want to look at in this project. But
yeah, in addition to like nostalgia for the show, which is I know why most of you are here, there's I think some larger issues that I want to tackle, like what happened between Attack of the Show and how we consume media on the internet to now. What's different? So those are sort of the deeper layers and themes that we hope to explore. But we've got about 10-15 minutes of video to show you.
For years, don't you know, I was a personality on Attack of the Show. Now we got to make us a video about all the good times we had. That's horrible. Wait, hold on.
Whatever happened to G4 TV and Attack of the Show? I go to a lot of Comic-Cons, and it's the question I get all the time.
Where's Attack of the Show?
I didn't realize it meant so much to so many people.
It was a show for fans. It pretty much started the genre of it's okay to be a nerd, a geek. Because there was a time and point where it's kind of like you were outcast. And then you would watch the show and you would actually enjoy what they were talking about because you understood it and you got it. That was the best part about the show. When it went off the air, it was like one of the saddest days of my life.
It was kind of revolutionary in the fact that when you look at what the YouTube space does now with all these shows with movie news and fun, kind of with a game show, but with these personalities and focusing on the personalities.
It was the only thing of its kind, really.
This is a show hosted with a female, which you never get to see, and she's talking about video games and like gaming culture and movies, so I thought it was the best.
You have your choice of looking at entertainment stuff, where you get your news from, where you get your information, what's going on in the entertainment industry, right? G4, you tune in, Attack of the Show, had it for you, man.
Everyone wants to know what really happened. Well, we will get the answers together as I talk to the producers, the executives, the writers, and the talent to get the real story in a movie called Attack of the Doc. I'll be documenting the entire process as I record interviews that can only be heard by backers in an exclusive podcast.
But you hold it and be like, all right, guys, so Seth Rogen's here today. He's in a new movie called Superbad.
So you'll hear the uncensored and uncut interviews. And as soon as we're funded, you'll get to see the first 5 minutes of the movie. Exclusive footage, never before seen video, and the real story behind Attack of the Show. What do you really want to know? Back Attack of the Doc, suggest a question, and I'll ask it. So please consider contributing and join me on this journey as together we make Attack of the Doc.
You got cash in your pocket, look harder. Donate to the Attack of the Doc Kickstarter. It's gonna be fun. Interviews are gonna rock. Chris Gore is making Attack of the Doc. Me, I did my thing like you never saw before. I used to be a star on G4. Doing my thing all day, don't you know? My name is Selwyn. It's Attack of the Show.
And if we can hit the lights, our surprise guest. Oh wait, can we hit the lights? Can we hit the lights? Yeah, and we're gonna be turning the lights on and off. Oh, can someone man the lights for when we show video? Maybe someone from the audience here. Who would like a cool piece of swag if they man the lights? Yes, sir. In the hat in the back.
Chosen.
You're the lights man. I want to introduce Zach Selwyn, everybody, who sang that song.
Sorry, it took me an hour and a half to get in here.
And did you pay like $50 for parking? Dude.
60.
Oh God, that's why I like to take the
So now
train.
you're good for the whole week, right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to see a Clippers game.
Cool. So Zach, can you tell us about your experience on Attack the Show? Like how you got there, like some of the highlights, all the different people you met, like Jack Black and Seth Rogen, I guess. You guys became buds because of
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible journey. It was, at this point, 13 years ago, someone called me to audition for the show, and I had no idea what it was. I was like, what? G4, never even heard of it. And then I ended up going over to this audition and meeting Kevin and Olivia the first day, and I was like, this kind of looks cool. There's a studio. Wow, this actually has a budget, unlike most shows I'd worked on at that time. And suddenly I got this job as this TV host going around the world with Attack of the Show, a show I didn't even know about, and it was pretty incredible to just be thrown into this world of conventions and tech and gaming and really nerd culture on this platform that was sort of not cool to like the modern media, I guess, at the time, but now is looked at as sort of like this pioneering show. So it was an incredible experience, and I don't know, a lot of good times, a lot of great stories, most of which I don't remember.
I also want to introduce Jess Pino is here. She's also working on the documentary with us. She's running the social media, so if you followed Attack of the Doc on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, she runs all that stuff. She's also an editor who's I'm going to try to get her to work on the documentary. If she has time to do it, and there's another person who's working on the documentary, a friend who's currently in Austin, Texas, moving back to LA. Her name is Meredith Stokes, and she's going to be a producer and an editor on the documentary. She's also an two-time Emmy-winning producer who worked at Netflix on a kids show that I never watched. So
I watched an episode. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but Meredith is joining us. So this represents part of the team that's working on the documentary. We have a lot more video to show, so why don't we just cut to it? Our man with the lights. Wait, what's your name? Mike on the lights. We love you. All right,
Mike's also working on the documentary.
Let's play something. Do we have something with Jack Black in there?
Yes, I believe we do.
Oh, let's play that.
While we're in the music.
Exactly.
Oh, I see me with a mustache. This is the Nacho Libre premiere.
I was hoping maybe, you could give us a little G4 jingle.
Hello, G4, I am Jack Black. I'm going down with a million killings. June 16th, go see that show. And keep on watching the Attack of the Show.
Oh, that was good.
We get that image off screen immediately.
I love the mustache, man.
It was a good look.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Yeah, so we just launched the campaign at midnight yesterday, so it's been live for less than 12 hours. There are like these early backer rewards because Bobby, maybe you can hand me my bag. Oh, Mike on the lights. Let's do the lights. Thanks, Mike. We've got like I've got like
Mike just got a G4 mouse pad.
And I saved a bunch of stuff from the show. So the early backers, I'm just gonna mail like, these were the cards that we used on the show. This is actually one of the cards that we would like, I mean, you kept some too, didn't you?
Yeah, I
like,
won.
Yeah, like.
You kept 50, I kept 1.
But I could get these, and I kept all the ones when I did DVDs here. I would keep them, then I would just mail them to fans that would send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. I'd just go like, I'll mail you something. And then do you remember these? These were these like signing cards that we would have, so I've got a little stack of those.
Turn it around though, show us on the back.
I don't. Yeah,
Let's see that.
Donate.
You know, everybody, they talk to, okay, all right. Yes, laugh away. I gained
Frosted tips.
I gained 30 pounds to do this documentary, I want you to know. And then, yeah, this was another one that they did. So if you back it early, I got some other cool stuff too. Like, I don't know where this came from. It was a G4 swizzle stick from some party. I have one quarter. This is gonna go. And then Attack of the Show, like pen. Like, why do I have these? I would just steal stuff from the office.
all be yours.
To be honest. They didn't give me DVDs, but they did.
I will say one year they gave us these really killer hoodies, these like black hoodies with the Attack of the Show on them, and they were only like 40 made, and I sort of sold mine on eBay. I was like, I don't know, sure, $60. I don't know why I did that, I wish I had that.
So yeah, so if you're an early backer, I'm just gonna give away all that swag to the early backers, but we're not doing any physical rewards other than a final DVD of the movie and a patch. We're gonna do an official Attack of the Doc patch, which should be really fun. The one thing I should let you know about the campaign, I know we kind of glossed over it in the video. We're doing a podcast, so for the next year, I did this interview with Zach that was like an hour and 15 minutes. So this podcast is going to be interviewing everyone involved with the show, right? Gavin Purcell, eventually, and I want to interview last, Kevin and Olivia. That's my target, is to get them. But I want to interview them after I've interviewed everybody else, just in case I dig some good things up that I should ask them. And then also, we're making this doc together. Everyone sitting in this room, well, let's say everyone sitting in this room who contributes to the Kickstarter will help in the sense that you'll get to listen to the podcast, you'll get to say, oh God, when you get like Allison Hayslip on, can you ask her this? Or like, oh, Blair Butler, who was the comic book expert, which I love, like, ask her this. We are gonna interview Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb. Will O'Neill, I don't know if you remember Will O'Neill, loved Will. Like, he's in the Bay Area, so Bobby and I are gonna do road trip, and we're gonna go to the Bay Area. We're gonna talk to Sarah Jean Underwood. She's in Portland, I think? She's still in Oregon. She's in Oregon, yeah, right, so she's in that area, so we're gonna do a little road trip and interview everyone. So what's weird about making a documentary, I'm like this is gonna be a bad word, but like I turn up in a lot of documentaries. There's a documentary called The People vs. George Lucas. It's a documentary about the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, every time we stop hanging out, I go to watch a movie and you're in it.
No, but like I just turn up in these documentaries, but usually what happens is they interview me for an hour. I'm in a documentary called The Prequel Strike Back, which I thought was a great doc about this kid who, these are DVD recommendations too, this kid who saw the Star Wars...
Yes, physical things.
Even I buy things on DVD now. But like this kid loved the Star Wars prequels, thought they were great, and then he was like a little kid, and then he turned 14 and got access to the internet and realized everyone hated the prequels, but he loved them. And he wanted to do a documentary about the sort of generational divide between people who love the prequels and people who dislike them.
Is his name Jake Lloyd?
No. No, but my point is...
Speaking of which, Jake, come on up, buddy.
But my point is is that you get interviewed for a doc and you're on camera for 30 minutes, an hour, and then they only use you for like 1 or 2 minutes. The whole point of doing this is, hey, I'm just going to share all the audio with you so you can hear the full interview. Then you can be disappointed when Zach is in the documentary for 1 minute.
Well, and like Chris said, I'm running the social, so any questions or comments that you guys have goes directly to me, and I answer everything. So if you have a question that you really want us to ask, it's going to go to us, and we have a list.
Yeah.
If you have certain things that you're looking for, you need answers for, like you're talking to directly to us. So I just want to make sure you guys understand, like, we're trying to run this a little bit differently to create more of the community feel and get everybody involved. So if this ends up shifting in the direction that we didn't think or expect based on these interviews, like, we want to hear from you as you guys are listening to the podcast. Help us kind of shift and shape this, because we want to make a documentary that you all want to see. So by doing that, being a part of it and giving us feedback and comments is definitely going to make it the best documentary that we can all make together.
Yeah, we want it to be for the fans. And yeah.
I also want to point out our cinematographer is here, Anthony Maley, sitting in the front. And also, I want to point out my crew from Film Threat is here, Dante, Anthony, and Alan. We're going to be doing a couple more panels this afternoon. We're doing the Film Threat podcast at noon. We're doing a panel called Star Woke, The Phantom Trigger, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then we're also doing another panel called Future Indies You Must See, where we're going to show tons of video. And I'm going to show up early to make sure it works. And it's like, it's all for like independent films you would never know about. Like cool, weird, like underground, like horror, sci-fi, comedies. And
it's a whole panel of DVDs, but they're not on DVDs yet.
Exactly, yeah. But they're coming out. Let's roll another.
The light guy for that one?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We're gonna need the light guy.
We're gonna need the light guy. Mike, come to all this panel. Mike, let's see another piece of video, just random. Bobby, whatever you think.
Cool. Let's see the tour.
Do less with me.
This is the last one with you.
Welcome to Casa Selwyn. This is Hollywood, California. This is my oasis in the middle of this shitstorm where I live. You're on the ring, by the way. Don't steal anything. Welcome, by the way. Nice to see you, friends. Chris Gore, my old homie. This was bought when I was on Attack of the Show, so that was 2007. I've been here for 12 years, which is insane, because this is a hard place to, in Hollywood, it's a hard place to live anywhere for longer than like 2 years. So, proud of this joint. Pretty bohemian. Got a lot of cactus stuff, because, Arizona represents. I got the saguaro cactus skeleton lamp. This hasn't changed much since the old days.
This is the one I posed with my Attack of the Show headshot back in 06. I'll show you that. With the Wayland sticker. Everyone's like, what's the W? I was like, Wayland Jennings, man.
It's still ball, in case you want to get all greasy up in here. I don't know if y'all know this, but I still kind of got some movement. I'm still kind of nice out there on the porch. I've been playing a little ball recently. I beat some like 50-year-old dads in 3 hours. I was very proud of myself. When I performed on Good Morning Football and the NFL Network in the draft this year with my band, the show I hosted Guinness World Records, my man Dan Cortez. Hey, AOTS card. That's what they used to give us to read on the show. So you hold that. That's cool that I have it actually. So you hold it, you can take it down. Might rip it. It's old. But you hold it and be like, all right guys, so Seth Rogen's here today. He's in a new movie called Superbad. Let's check it out. Still good.
Oh, wow.
I should mention that let's actually keep the video going. Let's show something a little like retro or vintage, from the show. But I want to mention that the way we're doing the interviews is real specific. If you worked behind the scenes on the show, we're going to bring you into a studio to shoot you. But if you were on camera talent, we're actually going to go to everyone's home to film. Like we have interviews that we're scheduled
See how
to do.
The stars live.
Yes, with Carrie Keegan. I don't know if people remember Anna David. So we're actually going to their houses to film, so you can kind of see what their abodes are like. You'll be able to see my palatial apartment in Pasadena. at some point.
We call it the Batcave.
The Batcave, exactly. Well, I call it the Batio because it just has Batman stuff in my patio. But let's check out another piece of video.
Because not only do I see your triple dare, but I will match you and raise you to a mega dare! Boom! You and I are now going shot for shot on the hot sauce fun. What do you think about that, huh? Whoever downs the most shots. Whoever downs the most shots wins all the glory and honor contained within the mega dare. Whoever loses will be shamed for all of history, or at least until we call him a mega dare. And then mega dare. I mean, it stops there. We really need to cut it out. I didn't even stop. I didn't say the Our Lady of Cholula. Let's get to it.
All right, well, we're going to settle this. We're going to settle this right now.
All right. Cheers. Shot number ghost. I didn't know things you could get past 4, so I'm going to do that. We must protect this house! This one for the win! All day. Cheers. Got it. 7.
You're not dying?
You done? Call it?
I have a question. Are you in pain?
Hey, let me know when you're done and then I'll tell you. Juice, what do you got under there? No. I'm going to celebrate that 7th shot with number 8. We got to end the show at some point. That's 8.
Oh my god.
5, 4, 3, so that happened. I won. All right.
We have to go to commercial.
Can we go to commercial or should we go to today's number 2 item?
My question is, did they puke after that?
So I recently a friend of mine took 1 shot of hot sauce and he puked everywhere. And he had to interview Felicia Day right after that. So Kevin has like superpowers or something.
Yeah, we've been going through like combing through footage. We could when we worked on the show, Zach and I, you could request like, oh, can I get a DVD of that show because I want to use it for whatever. So I have a whole binder of like 50 DVDs from highlights, including all the best of episodes. And in addition, since we launched this campaign on Instagram, bunch of people who've worked on the show have reached out to me and said, hey, I was the guy who ran the website for Attack the Show. I did all the behind the scenes. I have all this behind the scenes footage that was shot. And myself, like when I was there, because I did my segment, I would just shoot like video with my Moto Q. I don't know if you remember the Moto Q from 2007. Did anyone have a Moto Q? They were pretty awesome. It was really hip. I even had a Razr. Remember the Razr phone? It was so thin, wafer thin. But yeah, so you're going to see a lot of footage that was shot with that early technology, which is going to be really interesting because you'll see the show in a light that you never saw. One other aspect that we're exploring is we were at San Diego Comic-Con, this will cue up a video, we talked to a lot of YouTubers that are very popular, John Campea, Christian Harloff, Rob Burnett from Robservations, and they were talking to us about how Attack the Show kind of inspired them to do YouTube. What I think is cool about YouTube today is, in a way, it kind of replaced what Attack of the Show did, right? A conversation about... Yeah, it did. I mean, like, and what I feel is cool about it is it inspired this generation of people on YouTube to go, I can be on TV, and they're right? Like, I really don't think that there's any sort of special, you don't need to go to school to learn how to be on TV.
The best part about all the personalities on Attack of the Show and on G4 was, like, kind of the honesty, you know?
Right.
Like, and it's something that you could tell even from that clip, like, that live TV is missing now, is everything's so polished, it feels very sterile. Yep. And that was something that was incredibly fresh about Attack of the Show, is everybody was just having a good time live, and they didn't care about what they said or how they looked, and it was refreshing.
Yeah, so when we talked to some of the modern popular YouTubers, they said, oh yeah, they would watch Attack the Show, and then when Attack the Show went away, there was a vacuum, and all these YouTubers came up, which is really cool. But I also, when I started I had no aspirations to ever be on television, and someone said, you write funny things on the internet, you should be on TV, and basically I learned, I'll tell you how to be on TV in 1 minute. You need to learn how to walk up to a piece of tape. I'm not joking. So you meet your mark. Yep. So you would walk to the piece of tape and then stop. Then you need to learn how to read, but pretend you're not reading. Pretend you're saying the things that you're reading.
You're ruining
There's
all
actually
of
a
our secrets.
teleprompter in the back of the room right now for Chris.
That's it.
To the script.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, I mean, yeah,
You just have to be able to talk to the camera like it's your best friend.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's just
basically it.
And that's, I think, what Attack did, is that, like, Kevin actually he was an intern. You know, Morgan Webb was the chat girl on Screensavers, right? They're like, you should be on TV, you should be on. I mean, Blair Butler was a comic fiend, you know, like a lot of the personalities. I mean, I was just a movie guy that just loves and just sort of, you know, is just super passionate about film. So put those people, throw them on camera, teach them how to, quote, be on TV, and that's it. But let's check out some of these videos. Mike on the lights. Love you, Mike. Thanks.
Attack of the Show's place in, especially our culture's history, is really emphasized by the fact that it was the common place that everyone went to. YouTube's out there today. So amongst my friends, I can have 18 friends and we're all watching 18 different shows. At the time before YouTube was really prominent, we all watched Attack of the Show, right? It felt like if you were in any type of geek culture circle, there was something there for you. And so like when Chris Gore would come out to talk about movies, it was like the merging of my tech world and the social pop world and the movie world, and it was all coming together into one place. It was, you know, serendipity in many ways. I love it.
We've only got like maybe 5 minutes left, so I want to roll through a couple of other videos, Bobby, and then we'll see if we have time for a couple questions.
Let's do another nostalgia.
This is my favorite!
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes!
Chris Gore here at Spin Fusion in Los Angeles, where I come to find the latest and greatest in DVDs. On this edition of Asian Underground, prepare to have wisdom knocked into your brain with a high kick. I mean, a high kick.
No!
All right, wait a second. Mike, can you get the lights for a second?
Wait.
Show that.
Wait. My keep the lights off. We got another good Chris one.
I'm so happy you don't have me on American Ninja Warrior in Japan.
And then you seem to be so believable in these roles. I don't want to say it. You just have abilities that are sort of. Have you ever used your power of seduction for something that you look for, something that it seems like you're having a lot of fun. I'm sure. So, do you find that interesting? You're so.
Okay, we gotta get the lights. I have some stuff. First when I fell, I've always been trained to like not swear on camera, so I didn't say, oh shit, because the mic pack was in the back of my pocket in the jeans, and when I hit it, it really hurt, and I just instinctively said jeans instead of shit, right, or using an expletive. And then I've interviewed a ton of people for Attack of the Show, like Bruce Willis, big celebrities. There's only twice that I got nervous, and it was both times I interviewed Angelina Jolie.
You got out more words than I could have ever gotten.
They wouldn't let me interview her.
I stamped it. Both times I interviewed her, I fucked it up because when she's in the room, there's something about her. She is a presence that, like, one of my things is when I would interview celebrities, I kind of relax them and like make a joke or whatever, and then it's cool. But she would do that to me, and she was like complimenting my shirt and talking about my hair.
You guys dated for a couple weeks.
No, that never happened ever. But what I'm saying is, it got me so nervous. I never get nervous. It was the only 2 times I interviewed Angelina Jolie. I got nervous, and Attack of the Show decided to make fun of that, which is cool.
I think out of all those celebrity interviews I did, the one that got me was Megan Fox. After Transformers, I don't know what it was, I just went in the room like, hi, so, Shia LaBeouf.
This is what happens when you put normal people in a room with stars.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we move on? I think we have like.
We have 1 minute.
We have 5 minutes. Did they do the 1 minute sign?
Does anybody have a question?
A question about the campaign? Yes, sir.
Did you guys, when the show ended, ever take any stuff from the property or anything?
Oh, wow.
It was gutted.
Okay, yes. Actually, I took home, they were just giving them away, they were putting them out for garbage. I took a bunch of Star Wars costumes, and then I was in an improv group called Comic Book Live, and we used those to put on our own version of episode 7 when it was announced. I know, weird. And then I also have the curtain, I own the curtain from Attack of the Show. I just realized this, from the wardrobe, they had this giant, it's like floor-to-ceiling curtain that you would, pull the curtain, and then you would change your clothes, and then, so I have that curtain. Wow, I just realized that. And then, no one knows this, I stole something from Kevin's bathroom dressing room. It was after everything ended and whatever. It had this really cool sort of IKEA, like, towel rack, and I was like, I want that fucking, and I had, like, I just ripped it out of the wall and somehow was able, and this was the last day I was at Attack of the Show, and it was a very sad day, and I was just like, I'm taking that with me, and I just took it. So yeah,
right?
Ooh, that's a good question to ask everybody, actually. I'm going to ask everybody that question. Thank you. See how this participation thing works?
You didn't even back it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being here. I don't want to be a downer, but
be a downer.
I have to know, was there something rotten in Denmark? Like a double take of like some talk a producer said, or a red flag that went off in your head towards the end of like, wait, what?
No, nothing from producers, but from like corporate, and I don't know what really happened, because truthfully, Attack of the Show consistently got really good ratings. Like, it had 1 million viewers. And
which in today's TV would be like, top 10%.
Huge. So I believe it was something at an executive level. There was nothing with the producers. They were just doing their show, right? They were doing their jobs. But it was somehow on an executive level, my feeling is they really didn't know how to sell to nerd culture. and which is the dumbest possible thing ever, because if you look at nerd culture dominates, whether it's the box office, whether it's television shows. I mean, it's just nerd culture kind of owns everything to the point where it's now become fragmented. What's that?
Well, now it does.
Well, now it does, right.
Well, that was the dumbest thing, is that they were like, I think the network became Esquire, right?
Yeah.
And,
Right.
Well, this is what we're trying to find out in the documentary, right? That's the thesis, is trying to figure out what happened.
Well, definitely heard a lot of rumors though under people's breaths, like, oh, this is, we're going away. But I heard that for 4 years when I was there. I was like, every day, I'm like, oh, we're done?
But what I want to do is, I want to find the executive that made the decision, and I want to interview that person and confront them.
Yeah.
And I want to find out, I want the world to know that this is the person that made the dumbest mistake ever. They could have kept that show going for years. They could have replaced the cast with other people, which I think would have been great. So, unfortunately, we have 1 minute left, so we have to wrap it up. Is there one video we can show that's super short and we'll end the panel? Mike on the lights, thank you.
this is someone else who's also very upset about it.
Give Mike the curtain you stole from him.
It was great. It was smart. It was funny. People were attracted. It was a good show. And then one day it was just effing gone. Who does that? Where'd it go? Why? I tuned in one day to G4 and I was attack the show. What the F? Where am I getting my news from? Where am I getting my funny quips? Where's the people like me on TV? Man, Olivia, Gore, the gang, everybody, man. It was money. It was a perfect storm. And now it's gone? Hey, smart job. Good job. Hey, Suits, whoever pulled the plug on that, good thinking. Way to look ahead.
So thank you guys so much for coming today. Make sure you go to the Kickstarter. Get your backing in now so you can get those early rewards.
Attackofthedoc.com and
follow us on social, all Attack of the Doc.
And post on social media. We'll probably retweet you, spread the word.
And of course, back the doc, because already you guys have had great questions that we would love to hear from you and include that in this communal documentary. So, yeah, thank you.
Thanks again. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.